Challenger, film that just came out this past Friday. The film is directed by Luca Guadagnino, who's coming off directing Call Me by Your Name, the remake of Suspiria, as well as Bones and All. And this time, Zendaya produces, but also stars in the movie as Tashi Donaldson, an up-and-coming rising women's tennis phenom who gets injured in college, is turned into a coach, but her two friends, who are doubles partners, Patrick and Art, played by Mike Feist and Josh O'Connor, fight over for her. Is this movie all about romance? Is it all about the tennis sport itself? Manipulation in a toxic throuple, basically. The film is 2 hours and 11 minutes long and is rated R. My name is Max Enberg. Welcome back to a brand new review. We're talking about Challengers. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, ring the bell. I talk movies, TV shows. I do box office. I do out of theater reactions and rankings. So please subscribe, ring the bell if you're new to the channel. Comment down below what are your thoughts on Challengers. Where does this rank in Luca Guadagnino's filmography? I respond to all the comments, so please leave a fun one in the comment section down below. And also please like the video, guys. The thumbs up button. That's how you support this channel. So let's just get right into my review of Challengers. I adored this movie. This was absolutely made for me. For those of you out here just know me through the YouTube channel and just know me through movies, I'm a big sports fan, if you've heard that recently in my last couple of years when I reviewed movies, but I watch tennis every single day. So this is a sport that I love watching, love playing as well. So I love sports films because I'm a big sports fan, but also tennis films. Well, King Richard came out a couple years ago. That was really excellent. The combination of Zendaya and Guadagnino fit well to me. Zendaya is very selective with her projects. So, and she's one of my favorite actors that I've seen in my lifetime. So whenever she's in something, I buy a ticket because she's worth it to me. So with this movie, it's excellent across the board. Direction, writing, the performances, the score. We'll get to all that. Let's start with the direction from Luca Guadagnino, who, as I said, directed a lot of those movies. Call Me by Your Name obviously put Timothée Chalamet on the map. That's a really excellent movie. This movie is he directs the hell out of this movie. There are some the tennis scenes. I know that some people think tennis is boring, what everyone thinks. He makes tennis as thrilling and as exciting as it's ever been shown on film, in my opinion. He does POV shots of the tennis balls. He does POV shots of you being one of the players. It is enthralling, and he throws you right into the action. And there's a lot of tennis action scenes, as they call it, throughout the entire movie, because the movie goes back and forth from a script perspective and a screenplay perspective. It bounces around the timeline. This movie covers 13 years of this three-way relationship that Tashi, Art, and Patrick all have with each other. So, but the overall one is that we're following this one match on a challenger tour. So if you're not familiar with tennis, a low-end tennis tournament below the professional tournament, I guess. It's still professionals, but it's not the big tournaments. These are players who are trying to get onto those big tournaments, really. But the whole match revolves around this low-end tournament throughout the entire movie. And we go really point by point, match for match, and it's excellent. Game for game, but it was excellent. The action scenes were tennis were really good, but the movie is very character focused, and Guadagnino builds great tension with his direction as well. The screenplay from Justin Karitzix, hopefully I'm saying his name right, excellent screenwriter who Guadagnino's already going to use for his film that's also coming out later this year, Queer, starring Daniel Craig. It's an excellent, one of the smartest scripts, probably will be one of my favorite screenplays of the entire year. There are a lot of good callbacks. The movie makes you pay attention. Doesn't have to be laser focused, but the movie does want you to pay attention, and it rewards you for being locked into this movie. But as I said, yes, the movie is being promoted as that threesome scene that they keep showing in all the publicity. That it's not as sexual of a movie as I think the marketing is making it to be. Yes, there is a lot of sexual tension throughout the movie. Yes, there's sex and things like that. But the movie is character-based about this three toxic people using each other throughout the entire movie. And while Art and Patrick are best friends, they also have to use each other to get to Tashi, and it's a lot of back and forth. I'll get to performances in just a second. But the writing keeps everything so captivating. These are three at the beginning of the movie, just very unlikable characters. Now, I find myself rooting for one person towards the end of the movie, but I'd love to hear who you are rooting for by the end of the movie, because I think people have different interpretations, which I like. But these are three toxic people who are bad for each other. Art and Patrick should have never been friends in the first place, and they should have never gotten involved with Tashi in the first place. But we need a movie, and the movie is enthralled. No matter how much you hate these people, you want to desperately see the three of them in a room interacting. It's fascinating to watch, both from a performance perspective and from a script perspective. It's really excellent in that way. It explains for people who don't know tennis very easily to follow, which I thought was really smart from the film as well. But I think it was brilliant that the sports romance, we've seen that a billion times in movies, even in this genre, like Wimbledon, for example, back 15, 20 years ago with Paul Bettany and Kirsten Dunst. You can do romance in sports, but this movie tackles the tennis sport as itself and the complications of what you're in love with. Also, Tashi, is she in love with her career more than she is with these people? Like if Art starts not caring about tennis, does she just want to move on from Art then? Is her whole life revolving around her interest being tennis? It's fascinating, and you don't know which side each people's landing, and I really enjoyed that. But let's get into the actors because they're also just terrific. Zendaya owns this performance. She is ruthless, cold throughout the entire film in a great way. It's by far and away her best film performance of her career. I still stand by this, that Rue from Euphoria is a character and a performance that is going to be really hard for Zendaya to top, but it's by far and away from her movie performances, her best performance of her career. And I just loved her in Dune Part 2, but she's excellent in the movie. She owns the screen. She feels like a superstar, and Zendaya brings her famous superstar element of the real world, our world, into Tashi Duncan. And I thought that was really well done, both from a writing, but also that's Zendaya bringing in her famous element into the movie. Great chemistry. Mike Feist was easily my standout in West Side Story, Spielberg's West Side Story. He's more of a theater person, Broadway, than actually movies, but he is excellent in the movie. And I felt I was feeling more bad for him than any other character in the film. He's excellent. Josh O'Connor is excellent coming off of The Crown, really goes the complete opposite direction with this character. And he is excellent. And there is tremendous, yes, chemistry with Feist and O'Connor with Zendaya. But honestly, the best chemistry in the entire movie is with Feist and O'Connor. You don't know if it's a friendship dynamic, if it's a sexual dynamic that's going on, but you can feel tension and interest with those two performances. They're both really strong in this film, and I'm hoping based off this movie they both get a lot more looks in movies moving forward after both breaking out, either Feist breaking out on Broadway and O'Connor breaking up starting up on streaming. But the three of them are all captivating, all award-worthy nominated performances, I think. This movie was supposed to come out before this, in the fall last year. I think it would have made a dent in awards season. I also want to say Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross give a very strong score to the movie as well. Even though that's probably my weakest aspect of the movie is the usage of the score in the third act. That's like my main nitpick of the movie is the usage. But the ending, I know a lot of people are having all these different conversations. I love the ending. I think it fits the movie perfectly. There are great callbacks, and it just rewards you. It's one of my favorite movie experiences I've had because I just love tennis. You don't get to see it on this level. But the three outstanding performances, the outstanding direction from Guadagnino, and a really smart script bringing together a special movie, in my opinion. I'm going to give Challengers a 95%, ladies and gentlemen. For me, on that scale, it's a 5 out of 5 stars, but I'm going to go 95% for Challengers. What are your thoughts on this movie? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'll talk to you soon.